So Zack Snyder shared a photo basically confirming that the Snyder Cut does in fact exist. We've all known that. I mean, now that he's been talking about it, that it's out there, that the actors from Justice League have been sharing release the Snyder Cut. He showed an actual photo of the Snyder Cut, the actual film.
Wait, can we see it?
Yeah, Cody, if you go to that
pull
link.
that up, Mark.
Thank you very much, Cody.
It's
Can you
coming.
pull that up?
Wait for it.
Wait.
Here we go.
Okay, it's that Yahoo link. It's that Yahoo
so
link.
many
Down.
links.
It's
gonna
right
be-
there. Yahoo. Nope, keep going
It's
up.
almost like you have too many links in here.
Yeah,
All right, here
yep.
we go. I got it right
There
there.
it is.
You should pull up your photo again, your bloody photo again.
Yeah, there it is. That's the Snyder Cut.
There it is, the Snyder Cut.
So is it real? Does it exist? Of course it does.
Whoa.
And it's on.
Is he just playing with us now?
No. This thing.
No, it's in a film ball.
It's been pretty much confirmed
The
now.
internet is going wild again. But this isn't shocking, right? They with the cast started like actually hashtagging release and Snyder's Cut. We saw Gal Gadot. We already talked about this on the show. It's like they're clearly gonna release it. Like they wouldn't be doing this otherwise.
I'm still holding out that it's going to be an HBO Max thing because they need something to.
It feels like Warner Brothers doesn't give a shit. It really does, because when I heard Zack Snyder say, "Oh yeah, I have a cut," I was like, "Oh, okay." You believe the director, and I'm like, "Okay." So then the actor starts sharing it. Then he shares this, and I was like, "Well, of course he has, the actual cut." But it doesn't feel like, because when all the actors were doing the sharing of the hashtag, Variety put out there an article. I don't know if it's Variety or Hollywood Report. Anyway, somebody checked with the sourcing on Warner Brothers, and they're like, "Yeah, we have no plans." There was like and it's in Variety article, I think, ended with, it's like a long shot, or it's not going to happen on Warner Brothers' end.
And what was that? You also mentioned to me, and I haven't read this news item, but I guess somebody said that the actual Justice League, the theatrical release, only had like 10% of his footage.
So this is the other what kind of goes with this. Cinematographer Fabian Wagner explains that it was like 10. He said something like 10% of Zack Snyder's footage actually made it into the theatrical release.
10%.
10%. So 90% was all reshoots with Joss Whedon and the rewrites.
And the entire film Twitter is pissed, and along with all the other Snyder fanboys and fangirls, am very happy about this.
I didn't know. I mean, this is courtesy of Screen Rant. They got this from an actual interview that Fabian was doing, where he did say the 10% stuff, and I went, well, that makes perfect sense. I mean, because that movie
didn't feel like
It's
a
a
Zack
mess.
Snyder movie. Like it had a few shots, but it did not feel like it at all.
That didn't even feel like a movie.
It was weird.
Some scenes were cool.
It was just but that's what it was. It was a bunch of scenes.
Yeah.
Why do you lead with the mustache?
Legitimately?
I continue to wonder. Your first shot out of the gate of the movie is mustache gate.
Here's the thing. If they're telling us it's 90% Joss Whedon, clearly that's correct, because he just remade the Avengers but worse.
Right. Yeah, right.
It's legitimately the Avengers but worse.
Yeah.
So if you're telling
couldn't
me
agree
that
more.
it was Joss Whedon, no shit. He's like, well, this worked for Marvel. I'll just do it for DC.
But are
also,
you?
I have to correct myself. I totally botched this. Hoon Lee is the guy from Banshee. He is not in Mulan. I was thinking it's a guy that looks a lot like him, square jaw, but it's different. Hoon Lee's in Warrior now, regardless.
Yeah, he's great on Warrior.
Yeah. And I thought that was him. It was real quick in the trailer, so that's my bad.
No worries.
It's all good. There's a lot of good actors in it.
A lot of good actors.
So do you guys care at all? Like if is it one of those things where if it comes out on HBO Max and it's streaming, are you guys gonna like pop it in and watch it? Because like for me, yes, I really want to see this.
Oh yeah.
But
I have to admit that I muted the hashtag release the Snyder Cut because I'm just tired of it.
Yeah, I get it.
And that isn't to say that I'm not in favor of it. I am a big proponent of, if the art exists, then let it exist. Yeah. It kind of circles back to, in a lot of ways, our conversation about how we feel about the Disney live action remakes, whether you like them or not. The thing that you liked, the animated film, still exists. Mm-hmm. So if there are people out there that love the Joss Whedon version of Justice League, that's still going to exist. And then people will also be able to see the Snyder Cut. And for me, though, it shouldn't be to compare them. It should just to experience all of it.
I disagree, Emma. You have to like everything I like and hate everything I hate, because that's so dumb. Why do you guys do that? Who cares?
Well,
I don't care what you guys like. Yeah.
Okay, get this. 214 minutes was written on the cut. So that is 3 hours and 34 minutes of his cut, which,
it's longer than The Irishman.
Yeah, that's what's going out there.
Still
That's
not
longer.
through season 1 of The Irishman.
Yeah.
I That's a Cody joke. I stole that. I'm sorry, Cody.
That's
It's
great.
okay. Yeah.
Cody has very good jokes on Twitter
he's
sometimes,
very good
guys.
on
If you
Twitter,
are not
yes.
following Cody on Twitter, you're missing out.
Yeah,
He's pretty great.
100%.
So but to answer your question out there, that this would be like a Mandalorian episode dropping for me. It would be a must see.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
I would love to see this because of how much I like Man of Steel and BVS, to see his vision
Right.
for the third movie that he was in. He's even said completing the story of what he was doing with Superman. So
Yeah.
of course I'm
I
like,
know that's the part.
that's
and
the one
and
that
that's
gets me.
exactly, you mentioned BVS. Like I had so many issues with the theatrical release, but then when I saw Ultimate Edition and I actually got to see Clark Kent's character, I'm like, oh, he actually
makes a lot
is
more
in
sense
this
now.
Like,
That movie, man.
that's what I want to see.
it gets better and better every time I watch it. I
What,
I
Justice
do.
League?
No,
No,
BVS.
Batman vs Superman.
I've
My only
come
problem
around
is-
so much on
Me
BVS,
too.
even now putting it really high up there with DC movies because
My only
right
problem
next to Man of Steel.
is Lex Luthor, honestly. Like, and
Yeah.
not because Jesse
Yeah.
Eisenberg's back.
No,
I just
no, no.
didn't like the take on
Yeah,
his character.
I actually
right?
think he was well cast as that character, but
Right.
I think the take on it was not
Yeah.
not the greatest. It wasn't. It's fine. It's watchable.
Yeah. But Lex Luthor's such a cool
Oh,
character.
Lex Luthor's a
Come
great
on.
character.
You,
and
you disagree with
I
that?
just want to see Michael
Yeah.
Rosenbaum
You're
play him
doing-
again.
I know. You're
I'm
doing
with
your
you on
Robert
that
De Niro look
Yeah,
there.
I don't know
about that.
I'm not a fan
about
of
that.
either Batman v Superman or Man of Steel. I didn't really like either of those movies.
What superhero movies do you really like?
Ant-Man.
Oh,
Ant-Man's one of my favorites.
I really dug Ant-Man also.
What about you, Emma?
Thor Ragnarok.
Oh yeah.
Sign me up again all day with Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok. My favorite, like as far as superhero movies go, Ant-Man, The Phantom with Billy Zane.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thor Ragnarok
Yeah.
for sure. The first Guardians of the Galaxy I love. I've enjoyed
Also,
the second
all
one.
the
second
fun
one, too.
ones.
Yeah.
All the
Super-
ones that
yeah.
make you laugh.
Totally fun
I
ones.
also really dug Wonder Woman.
I loved Wonder Woman.
And I think that one of the things that is kind of great about the DC films and where your point is not incorrect at all, Makuga, about Joss Whedon basically taking Justice League and going, I'm just going to apply the Avengers formula to this and it's going to work. The thing that keeps the DC films interesting, yet also I think is why they've kind of struggled to find their stride, is that they are allowed to be more different than one another. Which isn't to say that Marvel isn't doing that. They're playing with every single subgenre, and most of their best films are the ones where they are messing around with subgenres or they're letting movies be their own thing. Guardians of the Galaxy is a great example. That is a James Gunn film.
Yeah. Ragnarok.
Ragnarok, totally
Taika
a Taika
Waititi.
Waititi movie.
Yep.
So I think
They just should let directors do their thing.
Yes, exactly.
They should just let creators take over. Deadpool is a great example of
yeah,
that. You know?
definitely. But
Yes, another superhero movie
yeah,
I love is
yeah.
Deadpool. Another one that I can't believe I didn't lead off with it because I always think of like modern ones. Clearly, the greatest superhero movie of all time is 1989 Batman.
Batman Returns.
Batman
but I do
Returns.
like
Yeah,
that one.
Batman
No,
Returns.
no, no.
Well, if we're going down that road, 1978 Superman. Come on.
Cody, you need to stop shitting
What?
on the
What's going
best
on?
comic book movie.
I didn't hit a single thing.
is
It just
Batman
happens
Returns.
whenever
Oh
you
yeah.
say
Oh,
it.
so
You wore-
are you actually farting then?
That was a glitch.
Cody, you actually wore, you may still wear it. You wear that 1989 Batman shirt all the
Josh,
time.
I like the '89 one. It's Returns that I'm not a
Oh,
fan of.
correct. Thank you. That's
Returns is so much better.
It's the best.
I will say this right now: Batman Returns is the worst Batman movie of all of them.
No. So here's
I
where
will take Batman Forever, Batman and Robin over both of them.
Oh
I'm
God,
just
no.
gonna
Yes.
leave
Oh
with
God, no.
I'll
Dorina.
take George Clooney nipples
Bye,
any
Dorina.
day of the week.
Holy shit!
Any
we
day
lost,
of the week.
You cleared out the room
Okay,
with this.
listen.
Hot take.
Stupid Chester Copperfield.
Oh God, the Reddit.
The Josh McCougar Reddit.
The Reddit
Blow it
page.
up.
I will say this: take Selena Kyle out of Batman Returns.
And
Give
you
her-
still have Michael Keaton and Christopher Walken.
Yeah, it was terrible. There was a total
Did you
waste of
just
Michael
say
Keaton.
Michael Keaton was
No,
terrible?
no.
He's fucking great in
I'm
that
talking
movie.
about it being the movie. Michael Keaton is always great in everything he does. It
Yes,
doesn't
he's
matter.
perfect.
Even in the movie Post Grad with Alexis Bledel, he's amazing. Okay, you take Selena Kyle and Michael Keaton out of Batman Returns, take everything away, and then do another movie with just them as that's our Batman Returns. Take away the Penguin. I'm fantastic with it.
No, so I half agree with your statement. So
I hated the Penguin.
I understand why people dislike the penguin part of it.
Haven't heard that one in a bit, Cody.
Wow.
It's not me, guys. It's just whenever you talk about the movie, the farts just they automatically play. I'm sorry. It's how the board's wired.
Keep that fart.
You're
keep,
so lucky that's my favorite fart noise, so God damn it. Anyways, we're gonna fight about this forever, but
Dude, Zack Snyder, Jesus, he's going on Twitter right now.
What?
Like literally.
I'm on-
Hold on real quick.
Wait,
I'm
he
gonna,
just
I'm gonna
tweeted.
get this.
He just tweeted.
Yeah, so Screen Rant
Breaking news, Cody.
has the Snyder Cut of Justice League is over 3 hours long. Scott Mendelson, who's a great writer over at Forbes, says this is almost certainly an assembly cut, which is always excessively long because that's what an assembly cut is. And then Zack Snyder tweets at him and says the assembly cut was nearly 5 hours long. So he cut this thing down to the two.
So it truly is a Snyder cut.
So it literally is a Snyder. So Zack Snyder
Good job,
continues to push back at this because he's got look, the fans with this movement. I said on the last Riley Roundtable, they won. This worked. They
Right.
got people talking about it,
Yeah.
and they got Zack Snyder going, wait a minute, people actually want to see this, and it's emboldened him to start sharing all this other additional like looks at the movie that he was trying to do, like pre-production art, and now he's going in on Twitter and going, nope, you're wrong. That was 5 hours. This is my cut. So it's continuing to happen. So HBO Max, I think, is the perfect place to release this.
Yes, I agree. I want to see it. Like Emma, I would like to not talk about it anymore. I just want to see it. I want to see it.
As the kids say, fuck me up with that Snyder Cut. Let's get after
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
I just want to see that
Exactly.
Because I was-
after BVS, what is his vision? Because that's what bothered me.
I
Is
also
it didn't feel like a continuation.
Didn't feel like a
Yeah.
continuation and a complete 180 in tone that then continued on in Aquaman.
Yeah.
It's like Aquaman. There's Jason Momoa in BVS,
My man.
and set up in this kind of different look. And Aquaman comes along like that is a totally different tone than
Yeah.
what I was getting with BVS and Man of Steel that I liked.
Because
Did I-
Wonder Woman was a good tone.
Oh,
it was,
Wonder
Yes,
it was
Wonder
a
Woman,
mix
I felt
of
like it
drama,
fit.
comedy, everything.
I
It was
loved
great.
Wonder
Yeah.
Woman.
I'm
Yeah.
so looking forward
Oh,
to
84?
Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah.
It looks great.
When does it
84.
come out?
Uh,
June?
June
June
2020.
I think, yes.